Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte said his telephone conversation this week with Chinese leader Xi Jinping to discuss the Korean Peninsula crisis was at the behest of his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump. Mr. Duterte said he spoke with the Chinese leader on Wednesday to convince him to play a bigger role in diffusing tension in the Korean Peninsula after North Korea test-fired another missile early on Saturday. He discussed the North's test with Trump later on Saturday, at the end of a summit in Manila of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, of which he is chairman this year. Mr. Duterte said in a speech in Davao City, "So, I called President Xi Jinping, I am calling you at the behest of the President of the United States. We have all agreed in the ASEAN and even President Trump that you can do something. Actually, the biggest contribution of all other is your intervention." The U.S. has urged China, North Korea's only major ally, to do more to rein in the North's nuclear and missile programs, which have prompted an assertive response from the Trump administration, warning that an era of strategic patience is over. Mr. Duterte said, referring to U.S. diplomatic efforts in Asia to contain North Korea, "Definitely they are getting the help of everybody here." The pair spoke for about 26 minutes and exchanged views about regional developments and how some concerns could be addressed. Mr. Duterte said if asked by Mr. Trump, he would happily relay what was discussed with the Chinese leader. The maverick and wildly outspoken Mr. Duterte has in the past week emerged as an unlikely collaborator in international efforts to prevent regional tension from escalating. As ASEAN chairman, he last week said he would urge Mr. Trump not to be provoked by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, warning of a catastrophe if the situation intensified and that Kim wants to end to the world. Mr. Trump and China have also formed a relationship lately that would have been unthinkable last year, when verbal attacks on China were central to the American billionaire's election campaign. But Trump has been criticized for going beyond the phone call to Mr. Duterte and inviting him to the White House. Mr. Trump was condemned by human rights groups and some U.S. legislators for what they see as tantamount to an endorsement of Mr. Duterte's bloody war on drugs, which has killed thousands of people since he took office 10 months ago.